Have you ever felt a sudden pull in your chest, as if someone somewhere was reaching into your soul without saying a word? There are moments when you feel watched, remembered, or held in someone's invisible thoughts, and you can't explain why. Carl Jung believed the unconscious connects us all, and when someone thinks of you intensely, the universe responds in subtle but powerful ways. This isn't superstition, it's the language of symbols, synchronicities, and archetypes. What if you're not imagining it? What if you're actually receiving a message? 1. Unexplainable emotional shifts. There are moments when your emotional state changes suddenly, without provocation, logic, or warning. You may be moving through your day calmly when, out of nowhere, a wave of sadness rises. Or perhaps, without any external reason, you feel sudden joy, anxiety, warmth, or longing. These aren't random fluctuations. They're often signals from the unconscious, your psyche responding to an unseen presence. Carl Jung taught that our unconscious minds are not sealed containers but fields of resonance, connected to others through archetypal and symbolic pathways. When someone is thinking of you intensely with emotional charge, your deeper self may register that signal before your conscious mind catches up. This is not about belief. It is about direct inner experience and the willingness to listen inwardly. Such emotional shifts are often dismissed as mood swings or chemical imbalances, but when they carry a specific emotional signature, especially when connected to a particular person, it may be a reflection of psychic entanglement. Jung called this participation mystique, the mysterious sense of being psychologically entangled with another soul. Pay attention to how these feelings arrive. Do they have a familiar tone? Do they carry the flavor of someone you once knew, or someone still important to you? Emotions are not always yours alone. Sometimes they are visitors. In a culture that praises rationality, we are taught to ignore these subtle cues. But the soul speaks first through emotion. When someone thinks of you with depth, intensity, or yearning, that energetic current often travels through emotional waves, received by the unconscious and surfaced as sudden feeling. Rather than push it away, learn to sit with the emotion. Let it inform you. Ask, "Who am I feeling right now?" You might be surprised by the answer. Repeating synchronicities. Have you ever noticed the same number appearing everywhere? On clocks, receipts, license plates, and felt like it wasn't just a coincidence? Or perhaps someone's name keeps showing up, in a song, on a billboard, in a stranger's conversation. Carl Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence that has no causal explanation but feels deeply significant. He believed these patterns arise from the collective unconscious, where all human experiences are symbolically connected. When someone is thinking of you, especially with emotional intensity, their psychic energy can ripple into your reality. Through these symbolic echoes, synchronicities are like emotional footprints the soul leaves behind, and the unconscious uses them to draw your attention toward something unresolved, unseen, or deeply connected. These signs are often subtle at first, but they repeat, insistently, until you notice. You may keep seeing their birth date, hearing a song tied to a memory with them, or encountering random mentions of their hometown. These aren't signs from out there. They're signs from in here, from the part of you that is already connected. In Jungian terms, the psyche seeks wholeness, and when there's a psychic bond, even unspoken, the unconscious may activate archetypes and symbols to pull you toward awareness. Repeating synchronicities act as bridges between minds, moments, and meanings. Don't reduce these moments to superstition. Synchronicity is not about magic, it is about the soul's logic. It's how your inner world reflects the subtle changes of the outer world, especially when another person's thoughts are aimed directly at you. The next time the same pattern keeps showing up, pause. Reflect. Ask yourself, who am I being pulled toward, and why now? Because the universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks in symbols, and someone may be calling your name through them. Dreams that carry their presence. Dreams are not just random firings of the brain. They are messengers from the unconscious. Carl Jung viewed dreams as portals to the soul, where symbols, unresolved emotions, and hidden desires surface in the language of images. When someone is thinking about you deeply, especially with emotional intensity, it is not uncommon for their presence to emerge in your dreams, often without any recent contact or conscious reason. This is not simply memory, it's a psychic echo. Their face might appear suddenly. Their voice may speak words you've never heard before, or you may find yourself in symbolic scenarios that mirror the emotional reality between you. Jung believed that the unconscious is not bound by time or space, and that dreams often serve as containers for energetic connections we are not ready to face in waking life. These dream encounters are often emotionally charged. You may wake up feeling shaken, comforted, or haunted. You may not even recall what was said, only that their presence felt real. This is the unconscious registering a pull, a signal, from someone who may be actively thinking of you. Their thoughts might be stirring your psyche, activating archetypes tied to your relationship: the lover, the stranger, the shadow, the child. Do not dismiss these dreams as random. The psyche does not waste its imagery. It uses what is most emotionally alive, and often that means reaching into the shared field between two people. If someone appears in your dreams repeatedly, especially in emotionally intense or symbolically rich ways, it could reflect their psychic attention on you, consciously or not. Pay attention not just to who appears, but how they appear. Are they looking for you, speaking to you, watching you from a distance? These clues matter. The soul hides its messages in symbols, and when someone is thinking of you, your dreams may become their mirror. Rather than analyze the dream intellectually, feel it. Sit with it. Let it speak to you in silence. Often the presence you feel, there is not a memory, it's a message. Sudden urge to reach out, you're going about your day, fully absorbed in something else, when suddenly, out of nowhere, a person's name surfaces in your mind. It feels strong, insistent, almost alive. You might feel compelled to check their profile, send a message, or just sit with the thought. Then later, you discover they were thinking of you at that very moment, or were about to reach out themselves. This is not coincidence. Carl Jung would call it an acausal connecting principle, meaning there is no logical reason for the timing, but it carries deep psychological meaning. When two people are emotionally or energetically bonded, they often remain connected through what Jung called the collective unconscious, the field where thoughts, feelings, and archetypes exist beyond the individual. This sudden urge to reach out may be your unconscious mind responding to someone else's intention. Thoughts carry energy, and attention directed at you can stir your deeper psyche even if you're unaware of it consciously. You're not just remembering them, you're feeling their presence across a subtle channel of awareness. Sometimes this feeling is quiet, a passing thought. Other times it feels urgent, even anxious. You might find yourself typing a message and deleting it. That hesitation often signals that something real is happening beneath the surface. Your soul is receiving a signal, but your conscious mind is trying to make sense of it. Jung believed that what we call intuition is often the psyche's way of communicating things we aren't ready to confront logically. When someone is thinking about you deeply, especially if there's emotional history or unresolved tension, that energy can surface in your experience as an irresistible pull toward connection. If this happens, don't ignore it. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself what the urge is trying to say. Sometimes reaching out may be healing. Other times simply acknowledging the feeling is enough. But always honor the intelligence behind it. Your unconscious is wise. And when someone thinks of you with intensity, your soul may be the first to answer long before a phone ever rings. Subtle physical sensations. Have you ever felt a gentle pressure on your chest, a sudden warmth around your neck, or a tingling sensation on your skin, even though nothing around you had changed? These subtle physical sensations are often dismissed as random bodily quirks, but Carl Jung believed the body is not separate from the psyche. In fact, it is often the first place where the unconscious speaks. When someone is thinking about you, intensely and especially with strong emotion, longing, or unresolved attachment, that energy doesn't just linger in thought. It can cross the threshold of perception and be felt in your body. This is not mysticism. It is embodied psychology. The body absorbs what the conscious mind avoids. You might feel a flutter in your stomach at the very moment someone remembers you with love, or a sudden heaviness in the heart when someone regrets what they never said. Jung wrote that archetypes, the universal patterns of human experience, are not just mental images, but psychic forces that act through the nervous system, dreams, behavior, and sensation. These sensations are often specific: a brushing feeling on the shoulder, a quickening of the heartbeat, or even a temperature shift in the room. They tend to come in moments of stillness, when you're alone, reflective, or emotionally open. They may be brief, but they leave an imprint. It's as if someone touched you from the inside out. Rather than dismiss these feelings, treat them with reverence. Ask yourself, what am I sensing? Who am I feeling right now? It may not be clear at first, but with practice, you'll begin to discern the emotional texture behind these sensations. Sometimes your body knows exactly who is thinking of you, even if your mind hasn't caught up. We are taught to rely on logic, but the body speaks its own language. It holds memory, emotion, and intuition. When someone's thoughts reach toward you with intensity, it is often your physical self that responds first. A whisper under the skin, asking you to pay attention. Don't ignore the subtle. It's often where truth begins. Hearing their voice internally. You're sitting in silence when suddenly you hear their voice, and not out loud, but in your mind. It could be a phrase they used to say, a laugh, or even just the tone of their speech. It's not a memory you summoned consciously. It arrived uninvited, vivid, and strangely alive. In Jungian psychology, this is more than a mental replay. It's a psychic signal. Carl Jung believed that the psyche is not limited by space or time. It holds imprints of everyone we've bonded with deeply. And when someone is thinking of you, especially with intensity, longing, or emotional charge, that psychic energy may echo in your inner world, appearing as their voice, their language, their presence. This experience is not delusion, it's a form of inner attunement. Just as a musician can hear a note before playing it, the psyche can register the emotional frequency of someone's attention before it manifests in the outer world. When you hear their voice in your thoughts without intending to, you may be receiving an unconscious transmission, their focused attention echoing through the symbolic corridors of your inner mind. The words may carry meaning. They might seem to answer a question you've been asking, or stir up an emotion you didn't expect. Sometimes the voice arrives with comfort. Other times, it brings unrest, a reminder of something unresolved. Either way, the moment is not random. It often coincides with that person holding you in their thoughts, whether with love, regret, or curiosity. Jung called this phenomenon active imagination when deliberately summoned. But when it happens spontaneously, it's often the unconscious, at work, stitching together the unseen threads between two psyches still in quiet dialogue. If you hear their voice within, don't push it away. Sit with it. Ask yourself, why now? What am I being shown? The soul speaks in familiar tones to reach you, and sometimes what feels like memory is actually presence. When someone thinks of you from the depths of their being, their voice may cross the inner threshold, not as noise but as a call, and your soul, always listening, remembers how to answer. Animals acting strangely. Around you throughout history, animals have been seen as messengers between worlds, symbols of deeper truths and carriers of spiritual energy. Carl Jung understood animals as archetypal figures emerging from the collective unconscious, representing forces and messages beyond ordinary awareness. When animals suddenly behave unusually around you, approaching without fear, appearing persistently, or acting out of character, it may be a subtle clue that someone is thinking of you. This phenomenon can manifest in many ways. A bird may repeatedly visit your window, a stray cat might follow you, or a dog may seem to sense something invisible. These encounters are not mere chance. They resonate with ancient symbolic language, where animals act as conduits for psychic and energetic transmissions. If someone is directing focused thoughts or emotions toward you, that energy can stir the natural world around you. Animals deeply attuned to subtle energies may respond to this charged atmosphere. Jung would say that the archetypal significance behind these animals connects to the emotional content shared between you and the thinker. For example, a crow might symbolize transformation or messages, a deer could signify gentleness or vulnerability, and a dog might represent loyalty or protection. The specific animal and its behavior can carry personalized meaning, reflecting the nature of the bond or the emotional state of the person thinking of you. Rather than dismiss these animal encounters as coincidence, pay attention to the feelings they evoke and the context of the interaction. Ask yourself what message the animal might bring. Are you feeling comfort, warning, or curiosity? These symbolic visitors often carry the weight of unspoken connection. In a world dominated by logic, such experiences are often overlooked. Yet, when someone's thoughts reach you, even through unseen channels, the natural world can mirror that connection in mysterious and beautiful ways. Animals acting strangely around you may be nature's way of whispering that you are being held in someone's awareness. If you've ever felt the universe whisper through a coincidence, a dream, or an unshakable thought, you're not alone. Here we explore the unseen truths behind what most ignore. Subscribe and join us as we decode the signs that speak not to the ears, but to the soul. Every like, comment, and share helps bring clarity to those still wandering in the fog.